West Ham 1, Everton 1. Jed, what do you make of that performance?
A pretty poor performance all round. I thought Mr. Moyes' tactics wasn't very good. We started off for the first 30 minutes okay, looked decent, and then in the second half we invited them on so much it was unbelievable. I couldn't understand the Mazaraku for 4-0. I couldn't understand why we took Lanzini off for a Jetty, not in that manner, because I thought that Mazaraku standing out on the wing was doing nothing. We would have been far better off with either Lanzini or Fornells in there, and we were so divided in between there. There was no real formation there. The back were playing okay. I think we played okay at the back, and we will possibly do that for the rest of the season. I think he'll probably play 3 at the back, Marvin and 2, and we'll go for as many draws as we can get.
Do you see that any different, or what do you think of it?
I think that mainly it was really Everton weren't very good in the first half. They probably upped their game in the second half, and I thought we sort of stayed the same level. So I thought we were good in the first half, but I think it was more with Everton. I thought Fornals coming off was a strange one. I think Masuaku did give us a little bit of a width at times, but maybe Lanzini could have been better.
A point from that though, is that enough for you? Because given our circumstances in the league and such like, is a point enough tonight?
No. We had to get 3 today. When you look at the fixtures we got coming up, was it Leicester away, Liverpool away? In terms of the league, we've obviously got West Brom. It's just not a great run of fixtures. We needed to get 3 points. We're looking down.
Transfer window. We're halfway through the transfer window. The bench today was a bit skinny. Are you worried or anything at all?
My problem is who we could get. I don't believe they'll spend any money, and I think we're desperate for spending some money. We need a holding midfielder. Obviously, we need another forward. I think Zabaleta, you couldn't complain about his contribution today. I'm not sure we're desperate for a right back. Not sure we're desperate for a left back, as everyone keeps saying. I'd rather be stacking up the midfield and maybe another forward. I think it'd be much more beneficial to us. And as for the thing the Jedson Fernandez do, I don't think we were. I think it was a ploy by the management to make out we were trying to get a quality player.
We wouldn't do that.
We were never going to get him. There's no possibility of getting him. And if we did, I'm not sure we could put him into the first team. I think he's unproven. I'd like to see what happens at Spurs now and see if I'm right. But I think that he was totally unproven, and he possibly could have been a liability. We need to grind it out. We don't need a bit more fancy football.
Question for both of you, to start with yourself, Aaron. 10 years of David Sullivan and David Gold now. A lot of focus on them this week in the build up to today's game. What's your thoughts on it all?
Well, I think anyone who's following me on Twitter will probably have seen that I'm not their biggest fan. I think 10 years they've treated us mainly with utter disdain. I think we started the 10 years in 16th and we're still 16th. I think they have been very disappointing. I think manager appointments have been poor overall. No structure for the club. I think they should sell up a realistic price. We'll see what happens, but I'm glad the protest happened. It was well supported, and hopefully that continues just to build that momentum and give bad publicity to the owners, because that's what they don't want.
Jed, what's your thoughts on it?
Got mixed thoughts on the board completely. I think that their biggest problem, they're unprofessional. They need some advisors in there who are professional in football, because they get a succession of managers, particularly Pellegrini, who takes their trousers down. It costs them a fortune and they've got nothing for it. I can understand their situation, because what I can't forgive is that they've been so naive to get Pellegrini and anyone similar, who had no real proven record other than when he was at Manchester City. He was on a downward slope and we went out and paid a fortune for him. And we had all his cohorts in, and I think the board are naive. That's their biggest problem. They need to go like Crystal Palace and get someone advising the chairman, the board, on football instead of taking the notice of the managers we keep getting in, who Pellegrini was running a holiday camp really, and all his friends come in with loads of money.
I think you're right, but I think they're out of touch with the current Premier League way of life.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, they're probably from 20 years ago when they were making their money at Birmingham. You know, and they still think it's like that now, and it's not. The football's moved on for the worst, I think we could all probably say at times, but they are not suited for the current game.
No, and that's why I say they need someone to advise them who knows the game inside out and not be pig-headed enough to think they know what they're doing when they don't. But their biggest problem is, as I say, you can't be in this profession, in professional football, without having some advisors who know about the game. And I'm sure Brooking doesn't get a word in because they call him the professor and he never says boo to a goose.
Fantastic. Listen, we'll leave it there, Jed, Adam. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you on as always.
And you.
Take care.